Well, hello, Suzanne. You're joining us for another interview, and this time we have another special topic. So, would you like to introduce what that is, and I'll give you the forum.
My topic today is beware.
Beware. What are we supposed to be aware of?
They'll learn for themselves as I go through my planned contents.
I see. So this has nothing to do with the old-time WWE wrestler Coco Beware.
I never heard of that.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. Some people might confuse that for Coco Beware if they're a fan of the wrestling back in the day. But go ahead, tell us what's going on.
Here it is. Here it is today, Palm Sunday. Now, every Palm Sunday we start out on a positive mood. Jesus riding triumphantly into Jerusalem with loads and loads of palm waving and accolades. But it lasts for only a short time in the Palm Sunday service. Almost as soon as after we've said the first prayers, the mood changes as reflected in the readings and psalms and anything else the attendees say in the course of the service to the negative mood of Jesus' passion and death.
Okay, so you feel that people start off on a high note and then they end up being sad.
And then they what?
They end up sad and depressed.
Yes. It's been 2 millennia since Jesus died and arose, but still numberless sins committed every day since then and on up to the end of time renew his suffering.
Right. So, but the Easter's supposed to remind us of that, correct?
We're supposed to remember Christ's passion and death before we get involved in any Easter joy.
I see. And what joys of Easter do you engage in?
That's not important now. Because numberless daily sins renew Jesus' suffering. That's why we continue to have these liturgical seasons or public relations warnings about the need to repent, reform, make oneself over.
I see. So the whole rebirth thing. The renewal, rebirth, is that what you're saying?
Yes. See, we have the quotation that Jesus said in one of the Gospels, whatever you do to the least of my brethren, you do unto me. Now that counts for ill deeds as well as good deeds. Not only goodwill, but also malice.
Now, are you referring to all the people who in the past were mean to you in the parades?
I don't mean just my own personal experiences. I mean worldwide, throughout time.
Okay, and where would you rank Howard Stern in that? Bad. And is there worse? Like he's not the worst, but he's bad?
I'm talking, when I speak of malice, I talk of ill deeds from small time to big time, teasing people, making crude remarks, gossip, discourteous actions, or to the big full time like drug abuse or drug trafficking, people trafficking, mob wars, hijackings, kidnappings, and other crimes on the grand scale.
So obviously those are much, much worse than somebody teasing you like Howard did.
Yes.
All right. Where do you rate the Wuhan bat?
As the lowest anybody can think.
Wow, that bad.
Now, now we have to remember, Jesus did say while on the cross, "Father, forgive them," etc., etc. However, that did not mean that the eyewitnesses, or especially the masterminds of his death, the traitors, the torturers, the scoffers, the executioners, etc., did not go home at the end of just another ordinary day. Although Jesus did not retaliate, God the Father did, because once Jesus was up on the cross, it got darker and darker and darker, and the instant he died, there were an earthquake and a storm, so that guilty parties' attacks of conscience.
Right. So the darkness was a sign of that.
The darkness was a prelude to the earthquake and storm. So is it any wonder that we're taught from time to time we have to atone, we have to reform, we have to perfect ourselves? And I don't mean just at this time of year. There are other times too, like the two most obvious are Christmas time and New Year's time.
Right, because that's like a new beginning. Is that why you're pointing that out?
It's not so much a new beginning as a throwing away of all the junk, so to speak.
So are there any specific things we need to be beware of this year?
Well, for centuries, there were always these crackpots who would march around saying that Doomsday and Judgment Day are just around the corner, but the time has gone on, and they still have not yet come to pass.
Right, but we call them charlatans, right?
The word charlatan, as I was taught, meant fake magician.
Well, yeah, fake prophet.
Now it's like I know a great. Now, in terms of my own experience, there are a great many people who mistreated me and therefore have to pay a penalty. However, I do not take vengeance upon them. I do nothing. I stay passive. Nature takes its course so that the guilty parties have either painful flashbacks or they will face the ultimate punishment in the great beyond.
But you don't want to do anything yourself. You just let the higher power take care of that.
Yes. It's been like that throughout history. But something very pathetic is how soon we forget, because when we've just come out of a time of needed reform and penitence, as well as probably remorse, we go back on our old ways. Now, I may have spoken before of the other side always taking the initiative. In my personal case, as soon as they were back in school after a significant holiday, they were just as mean, if not meaner.
Huh. So you don't think they learned their lesson or got any better?
Right. And they're the ones who will be penalized when they least expect it.
Mm-hmm. And who does the penalizing?
Either other people they interact with in life, or in the end, God himself.
But you didn't do anything yourself to as revenge. You just let it go?
Yes. Well, also, I've done some things that I was brought to shame for later, but I didn't retaliate on the people who chose, who took the liberty of criticizing me or taking some kind of official action.
So you don't see yourself as let's say Julius Winfield, the character from Pulp Fiction who recites the Ezekiel 25:17.
I'm sorry, I've never heard of that.
Are you familiar with the passage of Ezekiel 25:17?
No.
The path of the righteous man. Do you know that one?
No.
Oh, really? Okay. I thought that would be like your favorite Bible verse. because at the end of that verse, it says that you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee. And that's what the character says in the movie every time he avenges something.
Oh, okay. Well, see, since he's more aggressive and more belligerent, he faces a more severe penalty either later in life or in the great beyond.
Oh, so do you think even that character would pay the price for doing that, even though it's a Bible verse?
Yes.
So you would never strike down upon thee with great vengeance.
Right.
I see. So Underdog is all about peace, or Suzanne is all about the peace.
Yes. Well, Underdog still brings the villains to justice, but then from there he moves on to something else.
So very peaceful. Is that a big part of why you like characters like that, Superman, Supergirl, because they bring justice at the end?
Well, sort of, but more importantly, because they're aerialists.
Oh, okay. So they need to have two qualities. They have to do it, but they have to do it in the air.
Yes. When other people made fun of me or made trouble for me, I would tell them that they had better stop or pay the consequences. And they thought I was threatening them with my vengeance, but I wasn't. I stayed passive, and in time, those people got their comeuppance. I don't know how or when, but it did happen that way. That's what I've said about regretting misdeeds later in life or in the great beyond.
Oh, so how can you know for sure?
Well, I can't be sure because the people, all the people I'm thinking of, the people from school, work, spectators to my performances, I lost sight of them. I lost all track of them in time. And well, for one thing, the school students never apologized for their misdeeds upon their graduations. And someone who had done me harm never came forward afterward to apologize for something bad done long ago.
So you don't know for sure that they got their comeuppance, but you have faith that it did. I guess that's one way to look at it. Okay, now do you forgive them or no?
I feel like I'm on the other side of the coin for that because I used to be friends with a woman who was another Dracula buff, but she double crossed me for something for which I had intended no malice. Her boyfriend said for her that I was never to associate with her again, and that she was not the forgiving type.
Oh, I see. So
anybody who is that way should not expect God to forgive his or her wrongdoings, either later in life or on Judgment Day.
Well, but do you see yourself as a forgiving type?
Huh?
Do you see yourself as a forgiving person?
I can't be sure. It depends on the incident, circumstances. It depends on all the details.
Well, wouldn't that be a sin if you're not?
I suppose.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking a question.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's something to think about, I guess.
So I said at the beginning that my topic was beware. I hope by all that I've said that the average listener has taken his cue.
Well, let's hope so. Can you give us closing with like one sentence summary?
Well, it counts for both good and bad. Again, whatsoever you do to the least of my brethren, you do unto me.
Right, and that's the lesson that we should all remember.
Yes.
Thank you, Suzanne, for the wonderful message, and hopefully people learn from that. Do you want to add anything else, or do we wrap it up for the Easter Sunday or Palm Sunday?
I hope people don't forget or only partly remember what I've said by Friday.
Right. Yeah. Well, unless they have Alzheimer's, then it's understandable.
All right. I think I've covered everything that was necessary to cover.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Suzanne, for another insightful talk, and enjoy the rest of the day, and we'll speak soon.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.